Greetings, mortals. I am Nathus, wanderers of the underworld, or specifically the ruler of Manga Hell. And today we are reacting to the newest chapter of My Academia, chapter 373, titled Friends. I feel like we've already had a title like this in My Academia, so it should really be Friends 2, similar how there was an Encounter Part 2 in the previous arc, but maybe just a translation thing. Translations often have things wrong with them. Yeah, let's get into the chapter. Now we first start off with a cover page where we see Shirakumo and Kurogiri like kind of being engulfed with one another, as we have Nair saying his body is dyed with darkness itself. As we see Shirakumo there coming off. As then we have I guess a bit of a what's going around in the area kind of page, or like what's going on outside of Present Mike and Spinner's location. As we have Present Mike, I guess, is saying for the comms, as we have Soji fighting a few of the mutants off, as Mr. Mike saying, Spinner entered the hospital, I'll go after him. As then we have also him saying, you guys hold the others back. As we see Koda also using his horns like cover Soji as he's like using some of the birds to like hold that liberation member down. Which you guys kind of felt like the guy's supposed to be above an Evertail, but he's being defeated by birds. Although he does seem to be a spider, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Anyways, then we have Neso saying, present Mike, leave the rest to them. So basically, yeah, like he just said. As there we have one of the mutants going to strike Soji, as then Soji sees it with his eyes. But then he goes there, then he's grabbed, but then the weapon is being grabbed by, and then this guy kind of looks there, as he's kind of like shocked and scared. I mean, he's also shocked and scared when he's striking Soji. As then we see that one guy, one of the mutants who was, I think, used a lot when they were like saying, when Soji was having his speech and we were showing the hospital and all that, as then we saw the mutants like kind of who are in the area as well as the police officers or kind of like kind of like stopping to see that one of the members actually preventing them from hitting a student, basically, which is like more basic knowledge, common sense, if you ask me. But whatever, rioters are gonna do what rioters want. And then we see this guy kind of looking in shock of that too, and we have this guy starting to say, "I'll never say I don't." As we see Soji being a bit surprised that it worked. As then we see some of the mutants who actually entered the facility kind of leaving out, as then we see all of them kind of looking sad and dejected. As then we have that guy continue with, I don't think I'm making good use of my rage. So yeah, because they're striking a fucking hospital with a bunch of people who actually need medical help. Like, and legitimately speaking, outside of Calgary, there's literally no reason to go exactly against the hospital. Like, there's no reason to kill everyone there. And was there that paranormal liberation guy is saying, don't let them intimidate you. Don't stop moving. Follow your own leader. All those who have ignored our pain are our enemies as well. Now is the time to let them know. Think about all the violence you've suffered. So he's basically trying to fuel them with rage again. But then we have this guy just saying, I'm thinking about it. I've been attacked multiple times for no reason at all. Just the thought of it makes my blood boil. But as he actually straight up said, as he says this, so yeah, we can confirm like at least these guys have been attacked by it. It's like they are just like completely immune to it. It's just they were very minimal. And then we have all of these guys kind of like holding hands for some reason. It's kind of funny how this looks like. As this guy says, "Will you laugh at me too and say I'm favorless?" I feel this is a bit of a translation issue chapter because I don't maybe I don't know the translation what friendliverous means, but I feel like it could be something else. Maybe it's supposed to be like some generic thing like discussing stuff like that. And then we see just kind of be like, oh, he's asking me stuff like that right now, which again is supposed to be a very emotional moment, but it's like kind of a weird thing to just start doing in the middle chapter. As then we have this guy who nervously saying, I won't deny that I got excited over the call to action because incantation inaction is part of the problem, which is true. I thought it was finally time to strike back on this world that mistreated us. After all, we finally had a leader. As then we soldier like listening to him and he's kind of getting what he's saying. As then we have this guy thinking but there's no gotta be a better way. Don't care. I'm not sure this is supposed to be what some people were saying previously. As then we have this guy screaming, I don't know anymore, is the whole world really in my enemy? Now I feel like there are some people that I don't want to cause any harm to. Namely the fucking doctors, because they don't have anything to do with this. Like, again, a hospital is kind of a weird thing to send the army of mutants on. Like, I get it, why? Because Spanner's job was to get it, and he was like the one that was the most likely to have managed to succeed it. But, like, comparably speaking, so I think people who want the retribution to attack a hospital places isn't really the most, like, the best place to do that. And then we have Paranormal Vision members screaming, well, think themselves first. That octopus guy got to them. Even though we made sure to radicalize them to the point that their fever would become a wall against logic. Their fever would make us reign supreme. So yeah, this guy is just a douchebag. I do hope we at least get his name, but still, this guy's just a piece of trash douchebag. And then we have them screaming, trying to win them over. Guys like, stop that right now! Don't be rational! Dude, if you scream, don't be irrational. They just gotta know you're full of shit. Anyways, then we see more of a far back in the crowd kind of in the page, as we see another one of those mutants, Paranormal Liberation Fund members, the female one, namely. And we see some other mutants, ones who seem to be wearing some, I'm guessing the mask of those like that KKK in My Hero Academia world, the creature of rejection, probably it was called something. We have them, I guess, holding their hoods or something. As then we see that female screaming, "Why are you stopping? This is our revolution! Keep moving forward and tear it all down!" So yeah, she's losing her support as well. I'm guessing that other guy who's also there is losing support. So yeah, as then we have some other guy screaming. Was that guy who was talking before? Be like, "Was I wrong for coming here? Should I have stayed at the shelter without saying a word?" Well, you could probably say a word about the whole thing because that's kind of a big thing. I mean, attacking the fucking hospital for God's sakes. But I get it. Like again, what's supposed to be taking place here? As then we have Solji also get a bit teary-eyed as he just responds with, "The feeling that got to you all here today was neither wrong nor useless. I guarantee you that. The fact that no light has ever shone on us has hurt us immensely for a long time." As then we see some of the heroes, well, one of the heroes who is there saying as uh, as then we have the Koda like up behind this revolutionary guys, this hero saying, "I'm sorry I failed to notice your struggles. I carve your words deep within my heart." So yeah, I guess he's apologizing to them. Like I'm not sure why the Bishop memo guy, but yeah, he's like this guy's just apologizing it for it, sake of it. As then we have well, and because it's accurate to apologize in this situation. As then we have Sojo saying, as then we have like a beam of light, like a symbolic thing, which will look far better in the anime. As we have Sojo saying, "You keep fighting without giving up on anything. And to me, you were shining brightly throughout it." As then we see some of the members, I think the ones who were walking away from the hospital, like, "Oh, what were we thinking? What were we doing?" As they have sort of continued with, "Let's use that light to change the people who hurt us, so that they'll feel ashamed to ever raise their fists against us." So basically, be better than the people who are attacking us, to make them ashamed of what they're doing, to make them realize they should also stop. And that's the kind of idea. Then we see one of the heroes like holding them off, as you see them also listening to that. As they have Rocklock, as he's thinking of, they were getting fired up, but now it's all kind of calm as we see just them kind of, I want to say kind of dispersing away or just kind of going home or something. Not sure if those two, that the female liberation member is just gonna like kind of slip, go, go away as well to like hide, the ones who were also there, immediate class, especially members also going away, just like go with a group kind of thing, just to save themselves from prison. Or I'm probably not. I'm guessing we got have a lot of like a wrap up shop like we had in the end of the previous war where we got them all arrested or something. But I do want there gonna be something who's still gonna continue because I don't think this will like work in the majority. But to be fair, if you would, even if you still want to do what they want, like it's you versus an army of a giant group of heroes, a group of heroes as well as the rest of the mutants who are against this. thought process. As they have Rocklock thinks himself, all we were thinking was how to overcome them by force. So like, he's acknowledging what their problem was. Like they don't understand how they really should be handling it. As they have Rocklock saying, reinforcements, move out to the hospital because Span's still there. As then we have we come to the hospital to inside where we see Spinner getting struck by Bazat Mike's voice to the ground a bit as his recordings of Shiraki and Ovar get both destroyed. As then we have Spinner thinking, as we see the recordings going down, breaking up. As we have Spinner saying, thinking, the recorder with recordings from All for One and Shigaraki. With it, me can't wake up Kurogiri. So yeah, Spinner's voice is going, well, mine's going farther and farther away, and let's just say that things are not looking any worse. Then we see how Kurogiri restrained. Yes, then we have Spinner. Remember, I think All for One's words as All for One saying, if worse comes to worse, and it seems like Kurogiri will be freed. Or that might represent Mike. I think that might actually represent Mike. As they have present Mike thinking he hasn't reacted since that day. Maybe he's already completely broken. As they see his spin on the ground, kind of like. No, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like that. That's how powerful his present Mike was able to break Spinner's shells and all that. Since to me it seemed like. So again, like in the previous chapters, the way Spinner looked like, especially how he was like moving and taking damage, made him look like he can handle everything. So I'm not certain if it's I underestimate Present Mike or overestimate Spinner, or if it's just Spinner's mind is becoming less and less and less, well, mine and more like a vegetable. The consequence that we've got by All for One giving quirks away. As then we have Spinner on the ground thinking to himself, me, my getting blank. As he's still on the floor, we see some skills on him. As we see a wild eyes of Spinner, as we see Spinner thinking to himself, me body, don't obey me. So yeah, I have to wait for the official list, but this really seems like his body is just, he's become a vegetable basically. As then we have Spinner look at Kurogiri again, well, looking in a whiteout sense, that the end of the line. As we see Kurogiri, but we also see Shiraki's hand. I guess Spinner capped on him because Shiraki doesn't have his hand. As if Spinner thinking to himself as we get like a bit of a tragic flashback. In all honesty, well, not really flashback, but more like a bit of tragic panels of Spinner's like I guess final thoughts would be the best way to describe it. As Spinner thinks, no one follow me no more. Kurogiri will not wake up. As they get a shot of the League of Villains arc where we have Darby telling Spinner. So what you're saying is that that basically you're just an empty cosplayer. And then we have a shot of Spinner in his room, and you see that shot of him seeing that he's just a shut in. When he's thinking to himself, the whole time my heart was totally empty. Me were caught up in the moment. That's why me rose to action. As then he acknowledges it, thinks of everything, kind of looks back at it, and now he also remembers Soji's words, and Spinner says, well, thinks of him, but now me think all me ever wanted was to keep following him to where him is right now. So basically, like I've been saying, Spinner really doesn't care about all that stuff. All he really wants is to be with his, well, let's be real here, his friends Shigaraki and follow him. Like that's what he really just wants. I also think he's saying as we get a very close up of Spinner's eye, and then we have see what Spinner's staring directly at, as we see the Shigaraki remain as it's even like still burned, destroyed a bit. As Spinner says, to be able to reach he. As then we have Bazat Mike running towards the situation as Misaki thinks to herself, Spinner, stop moving! Splitting them up was essential to our plan. This is the final step! So yeah, Shiraki's suspicious. But not just if Kogure gets in and he puts these guys together, it will be a big issue. As they represent Mike thinking, remember in his time as a student with Aizawa and Kumo, as Bazama thinks of, hey Shakumo, didn't you know Aizawa lost an eye and a leg? I just got 5 minutes of fairy reference from his, even though it's even though there it's an arm and an eye and an arm for his eye and a leg, but still kind of very similar. It's Bizarre like thinking, so please don't make him lose the good memories he has. If you're not Shakuma anymore, I'd like you to disappear as a memory. But if you are still our friend from back then, instead of Bizarre like getting ready for a scream, as Bizarre was about to say that something to like wake Kubo, we have Spinner in his I guess last amount of energy or remaining of his conscience or whatever, grabs shook his hand, starts running to him as he remembers the moments between the two of them. As he sees like a moment where he's asking, "Who are you? You're not Shigaraki." When he at the end of the war, we see him like putting the hand that Shigaraki usually wears to calm him. So unsure to for the final energy awakening. Then we see the shot that I believe was of Spinner looking at Shiaki where he was in pain. As then we have a shot of the two of them just kind of hanging on and talking about games, which was something I was always saying multiple times, but I don't think we ever actually saw the two of them just kind of like sitting somewhere and talking with one another, which is very nice to see and definitely something I feel like we should have seen more of. But yeah, it's very nice to see and very sad, especially since, well, let's get into it quite quickly. Then we see Spinner with Chucky's hand as his eyes are still wired out in his, what I have only assumed the last bit of Shun he has saying, "Let's save Shigaraki and others." As we have present Mike, I'm guessing screaming, "Shirakumo!" As then we see a blackout panel, we see some noise coming from the hospital. As we see a weird like mixture of Kurogiri and Shirakumo standing up. As we see, what I'm going to assume is Kurogiri putting Shiraki's hand down from his face because that's the same thing Spanner did as he did to Shiraki. As then we have the mouth kind of being unraveled as the smoke cloud is kind of starting to emit. As then we have uh, as then we have Shirakum or Kogos or Shirakum saying one of the two saying, "I am the one who protects Tomoa Shigaraki." Is oh no. What's something interesting is there's a bit of a translation note here as then we have just saying uses ore, Shirakuma's first person pronoun. So whatever Shirakuma Kogiri are right now, they seem to become more like a mixture of the two of them. So yeah, I'm guessing it's because both of the two are kind of like active there right now. So the potential of there being two of them, Shirakuma joining the good guys, something like that, still an option and more active. As then we see Spinner just on the ground, kind of like one eye is open, the other one seems to be kind of closed. Find out, I think it's the same one that was so wide open before that's just kind of closing now. As then we see him just on the floor. Uh, I'm not sure if this is like Spinner being completely a vegetable at this point because again, it could just be that energy is like draining him. Maybe he should. Maybe it's because he was like he's not used to a lot of very powerful quirks. Now he got two quirks that might have like overdone his body or something. But I don't know. I mean, he might just be a vegetable. As we have the Adam generation saying, Kurgi joins the battle. The war reaches a new stage. So yeah, I'm going to assume that maybe the next chapter is either gonna be Shirakumo coming out to give even more help to the heroes, or having Kurogiri like using his transportation powers to get everyone to get Toga, Darby, Sharky, All For One, all of those guys into one place, which, honestly, I feel like makes more sense for the story. It's kind of like that's kind of a setup thing. It kind of makes sense for them to like really struggle, especially because that was kind of hold the whole point in this kind of situation. And yeah, and also it would be kind of nice if Spinner does manage to succeed here, especially since, well, let's just say his sacrifice seems to be being nothing more than barely more than a corpse at this point. So yeah, let's hope that the Spinner sacrifice didn't come to waste. Well, alright, to be fair, he's a villain, but let's be real here. We all know that he also gonna win this end of the story. It's pretty much confirmed. So whatever victory the villains get, we know is gonna be stopped. So I feel like here Spirit does deserve a W here, especially if he's gonna be a vegetable. Which something I realized while I was thinking about this chapter is the League of Villains members really seem to be the villains who suffer the most. Like I mean the core members. The ones who like after I would say Overhaul arc, the ones who in the My Villain Game arc, they really seem to be the ones who have the most painful and suffering in terms of any kind of other villains. Like compared to the way how they end up in this situation, well, compared to the Paranormal Liberation Fund, like shit, yeah, Getten lost. It was crying because he couldn't get Redastro, but he was still taken in custody without much issues. He was like carved into concrete. Redastro was beaten, but he was just sent to a wall, not like he was just straight up beaten, nothing more. But contrast, and the rest of the Paranormal Liberation agents and soldiers just get kind of like maybe one punch to get knocked out, but then just no more rested. Then we have the Legal Villains core members, where we have Spit twice dying, Kompreska mutilating himself. Spinner may or may not be becoming a vegetable at this point. God knows if this is truly the end. Like remember, All For One, I would not be surprised if it's revealed that All For One does have a way to even use a vegetable as a warrior. It's just that that's more forcing than anything else. And Darby is also setting himself on fire, so I wouldn't be surprised if at the end he just kind of breaks apart because he was so fucking burned to a crisp. Like the only two who aren't really seem to be dying in that horrible states right now are Shigaraki and Toga. But even Shigaraki, I'm skeptical on about what's gonna happen. Ben, since he's the guy losing his consciousness. Like hell, Toga is like the only one of these guys who actually isn't in some way in an insane amount of pain or just barely out of the death stage. So yeah, the League of Villains core members really are the ones who suffer the most in this story. Like you really gotta feel bad for them. Like yeah, they're villains, but comparing them to the rest, it's getting like they're getting the worst treatment possible. So yeah, anyways, that's the end for my reaction for this chapter. I hope you like. I hope you leave your thoughts and opinions on this chapter in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.